morning or whatever you happen to be. I will call attention to our exciting patron list. We have a brand new patron, Barbara Ardson, who has joined the parade. And I say thank you, Barbara. I literally could not do this without everybody's help, persistent and continuing despite the ups and downs of our mercurial economy and pandemics and wars and all the other fuss and bother that's going on at the time. So we're continuing to try through Nathaniel Jensen's remarkably undersourced piece, Traced, in which he is attempting to cram the genetic information of human beings over our entire history down to a post-flood frame to make it consistent with the idea that everyone was descended from Noah. And then we'll have a part 2, which will be related to Brian Thomas, a little piece he did from 2020, blathering on about the Niobrara Seaway, which for those of you who are not familiar with that, I'll stick that little name here in the Niobrara Seaway. And there's various names for it. I think there's an alternate name for the something or other internal seaway, whatever. But anyway, it's named for the Niobrara Chalk, which is like in Kansas and the like, but basically the middle part of the United States. Hi, Barbara. I've just acknowledged the fact that you are one of our new patrons. Thank you so much for joining the parade of supporters for our humble little channel here. I was just explaining the Niobrara Seaway, and hi, Slade, Seaway, which particularly in the Cretaceous period, the middle of the United States was water. Huge, all the stuff that would be and and in fact all to the Arctic for a while. It started to fill in a little bit more at the north, and as we move towards the late Cretaceous, that area is soaking in and turning into more of what we land. Period, Jurassic and Cretaceous times, places that are 1,000 feet above sea level were beachfront property, and that's why there's a basilosaurus, one of the fossils of that used to be the Niobrara Seaway. Anyway, to that little town. Jensen is, I had to plow through many pages of color, some of those already in the show. And I guess, hi Lamont. Shift. Yeah. Weird hours are a mess of activities that you want to sync up with. But anyway, has a source reference. So they're summarizing the claim story. We've shown you some of those in earlier episodes. In chapter 12 to one that I know, which is the Americas. Coming to America, gang. The standard was like 50,000 years ago or more for Asiatic people, not people from the Middle East. From the Arctic Siberian area, there's a lot of population of that population mix that's going on in there. You're getting one or more waves of people coming over into the Americas. That's what the genetics tell. Not in tune. That Jensen, he declares, quote, "We can convert the 1,000-year date from the main lines to one consistent with the Y chromosome timeline." And standard view of this as one, quote, "The history of the natives is boring," quote. But his, quote, dynamic version that he supposedly accepts by the big temporal train wreck, a particular indicator that how recent and superficial some of his opinions are, and his upbringing, or amazing lack of historical curiosity, or never watching a PBS, drop 134, where he said, quote, "I knew nothing about the pre-Columbian. It remained a puzzle until I moved to Texas in 2009. This century." Whoa, So there's no map of time thing about the Olmecs and the temporal, stuff down the road, even just kind of benchmark areas. It be fair, what maybe he's telling that he actually did have that fog bank. Anyway, 5 pages goes into that pre-Columbian settlement area. Very specifically related technical paper from 2018 by one, so we'll be putting a link to that. Which is a pretty fine paper on change. It had been for many years thought basic no any type of and previous periods. It turns out that ain't quite true. There were in fact settlements there. 800 years ago, it's way just any flood argument. So you can dive into that and go see all this the standard model hadn't accepted. And because it's down in the Middle Ages by our own chronology, he can get away with all of that stuff. I'm putting it in, I'll be putting a link into that so that you can read the actual paper to see the meticulous work that's done on all of that. There we go, we're back up to 4 stars. Sorry. Mea culpa, there's been some little bumpy bumps going with the signal there for a minute, but it seems to be okay otherwise. So I don't know, maybe demons. Somebody doesn't like. Anyway, I was talking about Jensen and this 2018 paper by D'Souza. Hi, greetings. It's a fine paper on this recent settlement within the post-Christian era, by which time, by the way, it's a spoiler alert. Jensen thinks that the Amerindians really, the main group that we know today, didn't come to the Americas until 300 AD. So no, he's living in a fantasy world. But anyway, he pays no attention whatsoever to more recent work. And one that dates from the same year as his book came out, 2021, by Mauricio, which also is not in Jensen's book, but then again, it's right at the cusp of where he might have cited it, discusses Peruvians pioneering monumental adobe brick structures by 3100 BC, which is 800 years before the flood, and perilous was only 900 years after the creation of the universe, according to the YEC model. Well, I'm still getting good yipes. I'm still getting 4 stars on here, so I'm not sure what the circumstances is on the breaking up